Halfway through the month. Let's see how real estate's looking so far. Hey everybody, Tim Veigle here, Watson Realty, and I got a doozy for you. Today we're going to talk about the month of December, year over year, as well as what the month results look like, and what I'm currently seeing from being out here working in the market. All right, this is useful information that if you're a buyer, seller, investor, or love all things real estate, it's for you. So let me share my PowerPoint with you. All right, your mid-month market review is here in three, two, one. All right. So today we're going to review, kind of like what I mentioned, year-over-year results. We're going to compare December 2025 to December 2024. We're going to see where the movement is within those markets. We're also going to see what the local activity is looking like through the 15th of January, as well as what the current mood of the market is. And trust me, it could be a moody one. So, all right, looking and we're diving specifically into Seminole and Orange County. So in December, they sold 1,862 homes of in 2024. In 2025, we decreased a little bit on that to 1,791. Days on the market was 42. Days on the market was about 44. So roughly about the same, give or take. Median sold price. So I broke this one up for you. So single family home was 485 in December and it was 480 in 2025. Townhouses 395 in 2024, 379 in 2025, and then 215 for condos in 2024 and 195 for condos in 2025. So as you can tell, you're seeing a decrease in the amount of sales. And part of the reason for the decrease in pricing is we're moving to what's called a more balanced, more healthy market. It's been unhealthy recently for buyers, for sellers. Um, it goes up and down on there. I know a lot of people, they freak out if they list their home and it doesn't sell in a week. We are seeing them definitely take a little longer. And sometimes you got to be reasonably to move if you're a seller. And then as a buyer, you need to make sure you're asking for what's important to you, but not trying to see how low can we go. So there's a fine line between both of those. But because of that, that's why you're seeing when you look at the price adjustments, the market's kind of flat. It's not going up. We're not getting double digit gains year over year that we have seen in the last back in 2020 through 2022. So something to think of. Now, if we move over to the rental market, on average, it's about 2195 in 2024, 2200 in 2025. So literally about the same. It's a Starbucks coffee difference. So single family home in 2024 was 6.19% ROI. And for those that don't know, ROI is your return on your investment. And it's 6.25% on average for ROI in 2025. So roughly about the same. Townhouses are going from 6.99 in 2024 up to 7.28% in 2025, and condos are 9.07 in 2024, 9.54% in 2025. Now, granted, there are some X factors in here, and this is just a high overview to give you an idea of what you're seeing out there. So if you get a home that could be above any of those ROIs, you're beating the market. Okay. Sometimes you get the lower ones, but you can do some work to actually improve the value of those features. Okay. And the big X factor here are what are your taxes that you're paying, which I wouldn't be able to know, as well as the HOA fees. In some cases, the HOA provides a value, so it actually helps you with rentals. In other cases, it hampers you. I know many are like, well, why don't you always just go for condos? Well, the problem with condos, you get a higher return on those, but you're also getting a lot more risk. Okay. Special assessments, other issues that are coming down the pipe. If you watched my video a few weeks ago regarding my predictions, I talked about the condo exodus. This is part of the reason. Condos are not as financially secure as you could. So if you're living there and you're on a fixed income, it's a little tough. So just things to think of. Now, moving a little bit deeper into this. So talking a little bit about the mortgages. So back in 2024, the rates were roughly between 6.6 to 6.85, and it's currently 6.18 to 6.3. So it's a roughly about the same type of curve, not too much. But 2025, it had a lower rate. Because of the lower rate, that means you have more buying power. Okay. And for those that don't know, we actually started dipping into the fives in January a little bit. So things are going to be a little bit amazing for buyers out there because you have more buying power. Okay. So the amount of deals going on, so we got cash deals 26% versus 27%. So roughly about the same. Conventional 52 to 51, FHA 14s, and then VAs actually jumped from 3.92 to 5.53. So you can see a lot of things are in this current market. People are only buying with cash because they don't want the rates. Obviously, that's not the case when you look at the numbers. You're going to see a little swing here and there, 1, 2%, but it's not this drastic swing for towards cash buyers. Okay. Now, let's look at the local activity. What I mean by local activity is what we're seeing in certain cities around the area just through January 15th. So, at the midpoint of the month, we currently had 76 active listings in Casselberry. Okay. Which is one of the lower ones in here. Winter Springs had 123, Longwood was 158, 172 was Oviedo, 262 is Winter Park, and Orlando was 3,513. So expect Orlando bigger properties, a lot more homes out there. So you do expect them to have a higher amount. But one thing I can say, especially when looking at Castleberry, they're starting to dwindle on their listings, which kind of shows where the market is shifting a little bit more. And we'll be more into that in a little bit. So far for the year through the 15th, sold listings 11 in Casper, 8 in Winter Springs, 10 in Longwood, 24 in Oviedo, 27 in Winter Park, and 218 in Orlando. Days on market that we're seeing median about 49 days in Castleberry, which equates to also $335,000 median sold price. 68 days in Winter Springs, so it's taking a little longer. Winter Springs, 397,495 median sold price. 82 days in Longwood for a $490,000 median sold price. 49 days in Oviedo for $498,750 median sold price. Winter Park, 32 days on the market for 425, and then 60 days in Orlando for 409,802. So it gives you a rough idea of how we're moving and what the medians currently are looking at. Okay. Now the current mood of the market. So buyers are negotiating significantly on purchase price as well as concessions. They see a home sitting too long, they're definitely going to come in with a lower price. Um, they are asking concessions. I'm seeing concessions get asked all the time. My buyers are asking for concessions all the time. So this is not an uncommon thing. Sellers are reaching out to test the market, and there is optimism on both sides of the coin. So I'm seeing buyers are optimistic and sellers are optimistic. You know, um, this market, it's definitely it's kind of like when you're getting to the pool where you want to dip your feet in, get used to the cold water before you start moving deeper in. That's how this market is. And one thing I can tell you is this market is changing like it has done in the past. Okay. We recently just changed from where everything was flying off the shelves to where things were sitting longer and things were slow. I know when I'd list a home and it'd be like crickets for showings. Okay. Now I'm getting consistent showings because there's a lot of buyers out in the market. They're ready to dip in there. You got lower interest rates. Homes seem more reasonable, sellers are more negotiable. So they're stepping into the water and making their move. Okay. And I'm seeing that consistently. Definitely things are picking up. I did an open house a few weeks ago and had 27 families come through in a 3 hour span. Got a couple offers on that house. The house was in good shape. It was definitely moving ready. Nothing too fancy, no unicorn features, but things are moving well. It showed well. And, that showed from the effort and the people wanting to buy. Okay. And this is stuff that we started seeing in this real estate market slowly going into the fourth quarter, like mid-October, things started picking up a little bit, and it's carrying over into 2026. So the mood of the market is hopeful. So now you want to know what your current situation is? Reach out to me. Here's a QR code. Please scan it. You can schedule an appointment with me. It could be in person, it could be through Zoom. You pick, okay? And we'll end up meeting with each other. We'll talk about your specific situation because this is just an overview of what we're seeing top down, okay? But your situation could be very different than what these numbers are. And we really need to dive into your numbers to see what's right for you. So reach out, connect. I'm always available for you. Hope you all have a good rest of the month, and I'll talk to y'all later.